Ethan Carter spent 25 years believing his father was a failure. The man drove a truck older than his son, wore the same brown jacket every winter, and obsessively checked the price of every item on a menu before ordering. "I hated that poverty," Ethan later recalled. To escape it, he moved to Chicago and chased the version of success he saw on social media, working 12-hour shifts delivering packages just to afford an expensive apartment and a lifestyle he couldn't actually pay for. During a visit from his father, Ethan tried to prove he had finally made it by taking him to a high-end steakhouse. When the nearly $300 bill arrived, Ethan slapped down a maxed-out credit card, telling his father, "This is what success looks like." His father simply watched and let him pay. Ethan was defining success through debt and display, while his father knew that true value was found in what you owned, not what you could show off. That dynamic ended abruptly when Ethan's father died of heart failure at 61. The last communication Ethan ever received was a text message he had ignored for hours, thinking he was too busy with work and social media to reply. It read, "Call me when you have time. Nothing urgent." The funeral began with a few dozen neighbors, but the atmosphere changed as a convoy of black luxury sedans pulled up to the cemetery. CEOs of massive corporations and former government officials stepped out, standing in silence before the coffin of the man Ethan thought was broke. After the service, a lawyer named Jonathan Reeves pulled Ethan aside. He revealed that the man who lived in a 2-bedroom house and used coupons had actually built a massive private empire. The estate was valued at $2.4 billion. Ethan was left staring at the records of a billionaire who had watched his son struggle through debt without ever writing a check to help. The lawyer explained that Carter Holdings was built on the invisible bones of the economy. Instead of chasing high-profile tech trends, Ethan's father acquired logistics centers, industrial warehouses, and data centers, the mundane infrastructure that makes modern life possible. He practiced a strict philosophy of stealth wealth. When he sold his first company at 31, he didn't buy a mansion or a sports car. He funneled every cent of that capital back into industrial real estate, keeping his personal cost of living at the level of a middle-class worker. For 30 years, he allowed this portfolio to compound behind anonymous corporate shells. By the time Ethan was an adult, the small logistics business had grown into a multi-billion-dollar machine, entirely hidden from public view. The father's reach was so extensive that he actually owned a significant stake in the very credit card company Ethan had used to try and impress him at dinner. He had the liquidity to buy private jets and penthouses, but actively chose an old truck and a brown jacket. To him, the primary benefit of money was the freedom to remain anonymous and undisturbed. By keeping his name off his buildings and his lifestyle below his means, he ensured his wealth grew without the distractions of public status. Ethan's anger at the lie faded when he read a letter his father left behind. He hadn't hidden the money to be cruel. He had hidden it because he feared the money would destroy his son. He believed that inheriting a fortune before building a character was a trap. He had seen wealth strip away the drive and ambition of other children, and he refused to let Ethan become a prisoner of money he hadn't earned. His father's favorite memory wasn't a business victory, but the time Ethan sent him $300 to help with a fake heating bill. That $300, the letter read, was the proudest money I ever received. To gain control of the estate, Ethan had to prove he could handle it. The will mandated a strict 12-month crucible. Ethan had to work at the bottom of the company hierarchy, in the warehouses and the accounting departments, with no executive title or special treatment. This forced year of labor was designed to forge the discipline and perspective required to manage $2 billion. It turned the inheritance from a lottery win into a responsibility that had to be earned. After a year of loading trucks and answering phones, Ethan stood before the board of directors. He set aside his financial charts and spoke instead about the culture his father had built while nobody was looking. He told the board about the warehouse workers whose children's surgeries his father had quietly funded, and the hundreds of jobs he had protected during recessions by taking personal losses. Ethan realized that money is only a tool. If you need people to see your wealth to feel successful, then you don't own the money owns you. He asked the board to vote on his future based on the work he had done in the warehouses, not his father's name. He had learned that true authority comes from discipline and labor, not from a bank balance. 7 years later, Ethan Carter runs the empire, but he still drives that 2008 truck with the faded interior. He uses it as a reminder of the man who had enough money to give him everything, but enough wisdom to make him earn it first. It's a reminder that the strongest person in the room is often the quietest. The people you think have achieved nothing may be carrying a legacy you were never patient enough to hear. Don't wait until a funeral to understand the people in your life, because one day, nothing urgent will become a permanent silence, and you'll realize that the time you thought you had was the only thing money couldn't buy back.